Hi, and welcome to my August 2023 crystal ball readings. I do legally have to say that this is a form of entertainment, and any advice or information that comes up is entirely your responsibility what you do with it. Most of you hopefully will have already seen my crystal ball that I use. She's a pure quartz. So this is my crystal ball that I do the readings with. And what I do is I just ask her for symbols for August or whatever month I'm doing. And I divide it up into zodiac signs just so it makes it a little bit easier. Okay. So that's my crystal ball. And I'm also, after I've done that, the symbol reading, I'm going to be pulling a card, the psychic tarot cards. I think they're from John Holland, for what I remember. As well. All right, so you'll get your crystal ball reading and one card. All right, and she also gives me a general energy reading for whatever month I'm doing. And for August, she's given me two things. I've got a fire energy, which is, to me, it felt very much that it was about raising difficult emotions. Okay. However, the second energy was a water energy, and that felt that also was cleansing and putting that fire energy out and leveling these energies out. Okay, so first of all, we've got Capricorn, and she gave me a figure with a life foundation stone. How it symbolizes in a crystal ball, it's a solid symbol she gives me. So for most of you, at some level, you'll be reflecting on your life foundations. Okay, so that's about childhood issues, your belief system, things like that. And this is about possibly making adjustments when you're going through this process. All right. So, I mean, some of the adjustments might be small for some people. Some of them might be, Capricorns might be bigger issues going on. All right. So the card that I randomly pulled when I shuffled them is the partnership and alliance card. Have you got it? I think it's there. This is very much about, yes, looking at these partnerships, looking at these relationships coming in, seeing how you can help each other, because look, it's a two-way street, helping each other. But that's also with yourself, all right? So if there is difficult emotions arising, and you're doing all this reflection, remember to look inside as well. Really look inside. All right, so that's for Capricorn. Now for Aquarius, she got a person talking on the phone, and it was very foggy atmosphere around it. So it very much felt for me that try to pick up the phone or make contact with someone who you've not heard from for a while, or you've had a misunderstanding with. All right, so this is obviously just about communication and maybe getting back with touch someone who you've been too busy to talk to. All right. So the card that got pulled for this one was the Hope card. And this is a lovely card because it brings a beautiful energy in. And if you look very closely in the center of that energy, just there's a little spiritual figure bringing all this hope in. So if there's been relationship problems where it needs sorting out, this is giving you hope. But it's giving you hope in life anyway. All right. So that's for Aquarius. Okay. For Pisces, I got joining the dots. I got loads of little dots, and I felt as if I was joining, like you did when you were a kid, wanting all like this. And this symbol tends to arrive when you're literally joining the dots in your life. Okay. And seeing a bigger picture. This could be described as a eureka moment, that light bulb moment, or also what you call reflective hindsight. And hindsight is it's a wonderful thing you could do with it in foresight as well. But ultimately for Pisces, this is a positive process. All right. You've just got to get joining the dots right. Okay. And they won't be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 and so forth. You've got to join the dots instinctually. All right. They don't make it that easy. So, and the card for you, which literally jumped out the pack when I was shuffling them, was discontent and boredom. All right. So I can't see that's a strong light behind me. Okay. So discontent and boredom card, very much like for me, is if I get a card like this in my personal cards, it's very much about yes, I may feel discontent and boredom, but it's important to ask yourself why. And usually there's a lot more hidden emotions underneath that emotion, and that's what they're trying to get you down to as well, especially if you are going through this joining the dots process in your life. All right. So this actually, if you're doing that, is a very, very supportive card for Pisces. All right. Enjoy joining the dots. Now, for Aries, we've got bird of prey on a rock. And the bird of prey wasn't in flight, it just sat there. Very big, it looked like, more like a vulture, that type of big bird. And it says, I wrote down, you've been asked to look at things from a different perspective. All right. So you really need to get off that rock and start flying so you can see a bigger picture of what's going on in your life and what the true landscape around you is. All right. So it's usually about stepping back and maybe watching the bigger picture and see how people are interacting around you, what your vibes are saying, get back in touch with that instinctual self and just see what exactly is going on. All right. So the card for Aries is the crown chakra card. This is the one that I randomly chose when I shuffled them. And this, to me, is about high advice and knowledge coming in, which actually sits very, very well with you flying and going in, looking at the big landscape. So to me, I feel this is a very, very supportive card. And for some of you, you may also get downloads coming in from upstairs. All right. So, and that's about higher advice and knowledge coming in. Start listening to your instinct and what they're trying to guide you. All right. So that's for Aries. Taurus, I got a figure holding scales. Now, every time you get anything with scales in, it's about balance. There's some balance, or there's some things that needs leveling up. All right. So balance is needed when scales appear. This could be a cash flow issue, life balance, work balance, well-being balance, or all of them. All right. So it's important to look to see what's going on again around you. You know, what if it is a cash flow issue? What can you do to help that? What bills do you not? You really need to buy them sweets every day or a paper every day, or it's just be really focused on how you can help this balance in your life. All right, and it also can bring justice into your life as well, especially if there's been a lot of injustice around you. This is for Taurus. And the card which I pulled was the shadow card, which is a very interesting card to look at, because then that is about your balance, looking at your shadow self and your light self and working together, because they're actually just holding the staff together. But ultimately, it's about once you get the balance right, you come out into the light. All right. So that's a very supportive card for Taurus. Now for Gemini, I got a very big hand stop like this. And normally when she does the hand stop sign in the crystal ball, you just get the hand lit up. This was all the way down. It was a very prominent stop. And then around it, there was figures of different emotional repose. All right, that's the only way I can describe it. So it felt very much for me, for Gemini, it's stop and ground yourself during what feels or is a turbulent time. Okay? Ultimately, you are standing on your soul pathway. But it's about that grounding. It's important to stay grounded and calm. All right? And the card that actually jumped out, which is a very supportive card, is the Triumph card. Okay. So ultimately the success on the cards here, but it's not going to manifest immediately. But the more you stay grounded, the better it will be. So stop, think, ground, and calm. Okay? And that's for Gemini. All right? Very strong message there for Gemini. And there's my cuckoo clock. And that's my dog sparking in the background. It's a bit of a lively house some days. Now for Cancer, I got loads and loads and loads of green energy just go flash, 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 flashing up like this. And green energy is very much about healing. All right. So for Cancer, you'll be offered healing at any level you need it for, but you have to accept it. Accept it from your guides. But also with the green energy, getting into things like nature, again, grounding yourself will also help. And this is actually just a process to actually bring in, you believe this card, new beginnings. So yes, and I did randomly select the cards after I shuffled them. So this is new beginnings. And new beginnings is yeah, for some people it might be massive big changes, new job, marriage, that type of thing. New baby. But for a lot of people, it's just that thought pattern. It's just that thought pattern of, for example, saying no, enough, and stop. You know, it's these thought patterns that is no longer acceptable in my life. And it's just, and other, you know, there's other mindset patterns you can look into as well that can bring a change and bring in those new beginnings and them new starts in life, albeit how small they are, but ultimately they go to even bigger things. All right. So that's for Cancer. All right. Now, Leo, I got two figures set very much in stone, right? And they were set apart. All right. So usually when I get two figures, it's usually something to do with some type of relationship. And that could be a work relationship in balance. It could be an actual partnership or anything like that. So, so to me, this is at least one relationship, put relationship in brackets, which has developed in a fixed stone posture. All right. So it's very fixed. There's not a lot of energy going on because you're in stone. So this needs looking at to free up the energy in this relationship. And, you know, sometimes we free up energy in different ways. Okay, so it's undecided which way that'll go for Leo. All right, could be you come close because you talk about things, or you make the changes necessary to get out of that stone stagnant energy. All right. And the card that again I randomly chose for Leo is Victory and Success, which is a lovely card. It's, I don't know whether you can see in this light. This light is terrible today. But the Victory and Success card, it's stood on a little bit of a ledge here, and it's in the dark here. Now, as long as you look where you're going and look at all the options, you will bring success in. All right, and you won't fall off the ledge. All right, so be aware. And you've got your Victory and Success card here. All right, so that was for Leo. Virgo, I got a figure laying on a plateau or a mountain. All right. So to me, that was very much, you've had a recent climb in life, and that could be difficult times and things like that. So it's now time for a bit of a rest. So you're on the top of the plateau, you're having a rest, but you need this rest before the next part of your journey. All right. So be a bit kinder to yourself. All right. So the card actually in Virgo, a lot of people probably think that this is contradictory after being in a rest pose, but he's trapped in fear. All right. Now the trapped in fear card to me is very much about when we're low and we run down and things like that. It's very easy to get into our negative head. Very, very easy. And this is one of the traps telling you not to fall into. All right. So while you go through this rest period, especially after a bit of a rough week or a rough time, maybe months at a time, it's make sure that you don't let that negative voice get too much of a hold. All right. And rest in a peaceful, calm atmosphere, not an exhausted, trapped in fear energy. Okay. So to me, this is a very supportive card. For others, it might feel as if, oh, what's that? Don't worry, don't be in fear. Just challenge that fear while you're in rest. All right. So that's for Virgo. Libra, I had to think about this one. It was a bit of a well, I always get one odd one that comes through most months. But for Libra, I had an insect alter the flower with a fish over above it. And I thought, okay, I need to think about this, Lynette. So after a period of deep inner work, okay, your life is starting to show new growth. Right, because you think insects, they scurry across the ground and the digging and they like to lose, and that's representative of deep dive work, inner work. Okay, and so the flower is actually the new start. You're getting growth coming through, and the fish, because it's swimming, fish swim, water, cleansing, and its water is very much for emotions as well. So after a period of deep inner work, your life is starting to show new growth and emotional release. Keep this energy going. This is for Libra. And the card for Libra is your throat chakra. Okay. Right. So we tend to find when we're going through like a bit of a deep inner work, our throat chakra tends to get a bit blocked. All right. Throat chakra is one of the worst for getting blocked because we're so used to not wanting to upset anybody, and whoa, shouldn't say that, and all these negative things that come up. But with your throat chakra and with this healing that's going on, it's very much that you will find your voice again. All right. So I usually find the throat chakra's clearing. You tend to cough a lot. Just keep putting the honey down and that, and it'll help to all detox it. And find your voice again with this new growth coming in. All right. So that's for Libra. For Scorpio, I had a dog looking, and then loads of fast changing faces. And this happens usually when there's quite a lot going on. However, because the dog was there watching all this, I felt very much for Scorpio. There's loyalty questions. All right. For you. All right. And this could be work relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be a very personal relationship. Or it could be, loyalty to yourself, being true to yourself. Okay. So there's loyalty issues going on that need challenging. Okay, for Scorpio. So follow your animal instinct to sort the wood from the chaff. All right. And the best way of doing this with the card I get around and chose for Scorpio is rest and rejuvenate. All right. When we rest and rejuvenate, we bring our energies back up. And it's a good time when we're resting as well for spirit to give you advice as well, because you're a bit more open and to receive that healing. So hopefully then at that point you can see what the loyalty issues are about, whether it's about your inner self or whether it's about the people or situations around you. So rest and rejuvenate again is a very supportive card. Okay, so that's for Scorpio. Sagittarius. Now, this was quite a confusing one. I got a figure sketch and it said like this, and no, it ain't got anything in it. Don't worry. The figure was very much looking bemused and perplexed at the same time. Or what's going on here? So it feels like information for Sagittarius is going to come to you that makes you feel a bit like this. And the important thing to do is take time to process what you've been given. And just listen to yourself. All right, just see what's been given to you and take that time out. And the card is actually the solar plexus card that I've chosen for you. And this is very much the solar plexus is very much what I would call more around your gut instinct, but also it's the gateway to the higher self and your root self. All right, so there's clearly a connection going on here. That's maybe this information is challenging your root chakra, your root self, and things like that. And it's trying to push you up to your higher self, the guidance. All right. So, once you get past the bemused, perplexed, the scratching head, what's going on here, allow this energy, the solar plexus, to help guide you. All right. So that's for Sagittarius. So thank you very much for joining me again this month. And it's really nice. And hopefully you can share the post if you wish as well. Okay. So I'd like to say a big thank you. And heart full of power, heart source love. All right. So bye for now. See you next month. Bye.